What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is Rhett and Evan of the Cannon Fire Podcast, back today with another video about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, the Buccaneers have signed a wide receiver looking for some depth in the playoffs. They go out and they nab 2014 third-round pick John Brown. This is a guy who was drafted by the Arizona Cardinals. Bruce Arians was in his second season with the team at that time. So, with a lot of these signings, the connection with Bruce Arians is there. That 2014 draft class, also the same draft class as Bucs wide receiver Mike Evans. As far as John Brown is concerned, he bounced around to a few teams after his time with the Cardinals, the Ravens, Buffalo, Denver, Vegas, and Jacksonville as well. A lot of those happening over the last few years. But this is obviously a depth signing, but let's not ignore that John Brown also has a 1,000-yard receiving season under his belt. So while he isn't, the best and brightest option for Tampa Bay, he is the one that they chose right now, and hopefully who can help out that wide receiver room here as the playoffs get started.
He actually has 2,000-yard receiving seasons. So had one his second season that was with Bruce Arians in Arizona. Obviously, that's the connection here.
Yeah.
They signed him. Now they did sign him to the practice squad, so he's not on the main roster. But that's obviously the connection here. Bruce Arians played 4 years in Arizona, and then had his other 1,000-yard year in Buffalo, and also had 6 receiving touchdowns that year as well. So, I mean, this is a player who has been productive in the past, but recently really hasn't. Signed with Vegas, I believe, in the offseason, was cut before the season even started, then was on Denver and Jacksonville, didn't have a catch in those games, and then ends up in Tampa Bay now. So not sure if you're going to see him at all on Sunday, but it's kind of an emergency depth signing sort of, and somebody who's familiar with the offense, familiar with Arians and Leftwich, and don't really see much downside to it. But I wouldn't expect him to come in here and all of a sudden be, that 1,000-yard wide receiver. It's just, we're just noting what he's done in the past.
No, and I think what's most important to note is that familiarity with not only Bruce Arians, but the offensive system, because we actually talked on our mailbag show on Wednesday. Somebody had asked us, why didn't the Bucs just sign a veteran receiver, especially with Cyril Grayson kind of dealing with an injury this week? That's why this one was so perfect, because the reason we said they wouldn't sign one is because there aren't too many guys out there who have that much familiarity with this offense and would really be able to adapt and learn what they needed to in a little under a week. Luckily, John Brown signed to the practice squad in hopes of doing just that. Like you said, not 100% sure if he plays this week, but the fact that you have those reinforcements there, as long as this team keeps advancing, that's good news for the receiver room in Tampa Bay. That's it for this video. Thank you guys for checking it out. Subscribe for more Buccaneers content every single day, and the podcast a couple of times a week as well. We'll catch you in the next video. Until then, and as always, go Bucs.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers from the 48-yard line. Second down, 13. Brady lobs one downfield. Caught ball by Gronkowski.